Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 14 of my Moncton Navigators franchise here. I kind of screwed up and I clicked X by accident while I was getting ready here for the draft, so we're already into it here for episode number 14. If you missed episode number 13, you would know that the Tampa Bay Lightning eliminated us in 6 games. And so here we are now at the draft with the Columbus Blue Jackets having the first pick. I was going to talk about what I was going to do here in the draft, but I kind of didn't have time by clicking on it by accident. But as you see here, there's a lot of good progression from this team here. 87 overall for Klim Kostin already, and a lot of the boys here are doing really good. Hoglander is going to be ready to make the jump next year for sure. And we need to clear. I think we need to get rid a bit of some young or some veterans. I'm having trouble talking here. Some veterans, including maybe Derek Stepan, although I see he doesn't have a lot of value, and Carl Soderberg for sure. Carl Soderberg said he would fit on the team. He doesn't really fit on the team, and honestly, I just maybe would want to trade him for some type of grinder forward. Now, I know who I'm looking for here. I do not know really what team he's playing on, but I'll figure it out. Oh my goodness, actually, we were lucky. He plays on the Edmonton Oilers. I'd love to be able to get my hands on Cedric Paquette for that fourth line, maybe. So if we can get maybe Paquette in a fifth for Soderberg, and that would make sense too for the Oilers, I believe, because they're upgrading their center depth. I just want the Paquette who is the less overall, so my grinder line can be fulfilled. So let's try that. Making out like gangbusters. Well, I highly doubt it because Shane Wright is coming up here and he's going to want some ice time. And I can't have these guys hogging up all the ice time for sure. Another pick that I want to make, although I won't have enough time because Columbus is definitely going to make they make it right there. Franchise defenseman Maxime Parks. 80 overall defensive defenseman. It's going to be awesome for Torts, like I said in the last episode there. Ridiculous. A franchise defensive defenseman, I haven't seen that a lot. So Shane Wright's going to be ready for next year. And do I try to trade the rights for Stepan, or do I just not re-sign him? Does anybody just want the rights to Derek Stepan, or the rights to Derek Stepan? How much would that cost us? How much would that give us? A fifth rounder maybe? No, see that. And they're a seller too, so. You know what? I think it's just more realistic to let him go into free agency by himself here. He's a veteran on this team. And the other thing that I would like to do is move up a couple of spots here because there is a prospect that I've had my eye on right now. And that is, I think I seen him in the last episode. I'll show you later. We're just going to try to move up a couple spots here. Maybe if I give them a 24th for 21 and 24 and 72 for 21. Yeah, so that was pretty easy. So there's a prospect here. Let me view the draft class. Who I've really had my eyes on here for a while. And that is Alexandre Plus, who way over a point per game here in the QMJHL, which compared to the other ones, it's not even close. I could have just kept my pick and then went for Semin, but I don't know enough about Semin to be completely sure. And from what I see, he's a left-wing playmaker, which I don't really need. Plus, the reason I moved up for Plus is because he does look like a bit of a power forward type of centerman, and I think he could be a really good fit for my third line here if he ever makes it. So let's just sim a couple picks. The Anaheim Ducks get Valisi. Let's just sim to my pick real quick, and then we can show everybody else. All right, so Parks, Valisi, Hatcher, Marquardt, Haynes. Philstrom looks a lot better than Marquardt. Numelin, Hendricks, Marcinko. Just going to show off the prospects that got drafted in the first round. No real steal so far. And that means that I can go ahead and select Alexandre Plus. I think he would be the best player available here, and he's not that good. 65 overall, power forward centerman, well, I mean, he's good, but did we actually gain anything by trading down for him? Let's see. 65 overall, top 4D. 64 overall, top 6 forward. I'm just curious here as to see if, what was his name? Semin. What was he? Oh, I saw media. Oh, a low elite, Semin. So I maybe should have gone with him, and Sexton was a low elite. That's a defensive defenseman. I don't need defensive defenseman. So Semin and Sexton would have been good, but Semin and Sexton also are player types that I don't need, and Plus can fill a need maybe in the future. So I don't regret that at all, to be quite honest with you. And now we're just going to simulate all the way to my pick here. So let's make it. Who can we get here? So we can get a couple of goaltenders here, maybe for like a project. A gem here in Noel Moran. Well, last time I saw a gem, I did pick him, and that ended up being a big mistake. So let's just do it right now. Noel Moran, straight out of Halifax, might play for the Atlantic Schooners in the future. Noel Moran is a low top 6 center playmaker. At this point, it's pretty good. It's not going to lie, it's pretty good. So that was that pick, and now we go all the way back to the 5th round. In the 5th round, what are we? Let's sort by potential maybe. Goddard and Carlson. Goddard. Let's make that pick. A top 6 D-man in the 5th round here. Defensive defenseman though again, Goddard. I remember Eric Goddard being a machine, an absolute killer. And just because I'm remembering Eric Goddard, you know what? Player type. Do we have any enforcers here? We do have a couple of enforcers. This guy's definitely not an enforcer. Murray Pettinger and Regan. You know what? Let's get Amari Regan on the team. Is he an enforcer? No, he's a defensive D-man. Hoping that he was an enforcer. Oh my God, Begris here in the 7th round. Anaheim got a steal right before me. A left wing power forward, low elite. So, don't think we'll be making a lot of miracles here, but we might as well go for Nicholas Carlson from the Swedish Hockey League. He is an offensive defenseman, a 7th D-man. So, that wasn't a very strong draft for the Moncton Navigators, but we are contenders now, and we're not, it's going to be harder and harder to find diamonds in the rough with 20-something overall picks and whatnot. So I'm just going to not skip the re-sign phase, but I'm just going to go off screen for a minute and handle all the contracts. Lazarev, well, maybe, you know what, I'll just sim. All of my AHL coaching staff is going to need new contracts. And a lot of scouts. And I know that Lazarev, this is his year for his contract. So maybe just if I can. And Kostin as well. So Lazarev, Kostin. If you have anybody else who's going to want some big money, Stepan, who I'm going to let walk. Other than that, just minor pieces down here. Oh my goodness. A lot of contracts to deal with. A lot of contracts to deal with, but Lazarev and Kostin are going to be the two big ones. Yeah, Lazarev and Kostin, Montembeault. I'm going to have to debate if I sign Montembeault because I'm not sure. Maybe just, or maybe let Apple be dominating the AHL for another year. I don't know. I'll have to debate on it, but I'll debate on it off screen. I just wanted to show you real quick. So I'm going to get all that done, and I'll come back once we're ready for free agency. So until then, this is East Coast Gaming. See ya in a few. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So here we are, the 30th of June, and I took care of all the contracts off screen. So let's just see here who we have. Lazarev signed a mega deal worth 7 years, $10.450 million. After thinking about it, I was going to sign him to a bit of a bridge deal, but I'm pretty confident that Lazarev is going to bump up from that 87, and he is going to be a cornerstone piece of this franchise going forward. He does have 2 seasons of 40 goals already as a young 20-year-old, so I just decided to pay him now to avoid paying him more in the future. And we'll see at 10.45 if he's going to be worth the contract or if he's going to be a really big bust. Kostin, on the other hand, after having a bad year in year number 1, I wanted that bridge deal on Kostin. So he has 3 years, $6.550 million. Sanford, Perfetti, everybody here got signed. We have Gauthier and Myers here who are going to hold out for probably the rest of the summer, but they're going to be signed eventually. And other than that, I mean, we let go some pieces. Stepan to free agency. Steen went to free agency. Andrew Kopp, I had to let him go because Andrew Kopp wanted 3-point-something million for a third-line left winger, and I'm not paying him that. We're gonna need we're gonna need all the money we can get here in the future with guys like Shane Wright, with guys like Barbashev might want an extension. Perfetti might get paid next season. Markstrom, we might keep Markstrom around after this year, so I need the money, and 3.5 million for a third line, fourth line left winger isn't the way to go. I let go, I think I said Steen, and I let go of Zach Fucali in the AHL, so that experiment is done. But the rest of the guys here, I either signed or qualified them, and they probably won't have much choice but to accept after a while here. Signed our boy Plus here to an entry-level contract, and also Oscar Plandowski, who plays for the Charlottetown Islanders. I signed him up. He might be a decent prospect down in the pipeline here for the defense. And other than that, not a lot of guys. I thought about Walls, but I think I'll just let him play wherever he's. I think it's in the States. So that was the contracts, and now here we go into free agency here. But to be completely honest with you, there's not much to be done in free agency. All our replacements are going to come from the pipeline here, as Hoglander is going to get called up. Wright is probably going to make his debut there, I'm assuming, on the third line. But actually, since I know that might be the case, we have Gauthier with them. I mean, Gauthier, I guess that could work. Gauthier on the third line, Hoglander and Wright. unless we see like some type of upgrade. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to Gauthier, Wright, and Hoglander on that third line. How about defense? I've kind of had enough, honestly, with either Devon Toews or Philip Myers, and we might look to get an upgrade on that. I don't remember who doesn't really fit on the team here. Toews used to. I might move on from one of these two guys because I saw a defenseman that would really work out pretty terrifically on this team. So that's free agency. I mean, we don't have much to do other than maybe a defensive upgrade. And our AHL coaching staff decided that they all wanted out after what I'm assuming is disappointment from being ousted in the first round of the playoffs. So I guess we can hire my AHL coach on the screen here. AHL head coach. I mean, just go with whatever. I'll go with Ulf Nyquist for now. Here, I'll give you close to $800,000. And an AHL associate coach. I love coaches that are A+ at one thing, and Ladislav Rusakovic will help the power play down there, and an assistant coach in the AHL. Who will that be? What are these even good for? My goodness. This guy looks like the best one. Desbiens. Raphael Desbiens. And actually, I need an NHL assistant coach also. I'm curious. Where does is Justin Williams there somewhere? Where is he? Bufflin's still there. He's a head coach. Could I potentially bring him on as an assistant coach? Would that work? Let's try that. Let's try that. Bufflin is an assistant coach. Try that. That probably won't work, but all right. So let's go into free agency. And there's one guy in free agency who because I looked at this before. Gurianov, I'll look at that. And that's the guy who was drafted second over Lazarev. So I checked his stats, and Lazarev is actually doing a lot better. You can't look at them for some reason, but he only has 32 goals, I think is his career high. Gurianov is now a low top 6 forward. Ew. But the defenseman that I was really looking to maybe sign, depending, is Oscar Klefbom. Although I won't give him what he wants here. I'll give him 2 years, and I'll give him more money for that 2 years. 5.850 million. Oscar Klefbom fits on all defensive pairings and all penalty killing lines. So it's hard to pass that up. He's 84 overall, and we might put him on the second line depending on if Bouchard and the combination of Bouchard and Hedman work on the third line. We might put him there. But even if he's on the third line, I mean, that is some amazing depth. On D, and we have the money for it, so why not? And they'll make an asset to trade maybe at some point. Happy to join the team. AHL assistant coach. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I won't chase him. Engren and Kasparaitis for Boone Jenner. No, I don't want Boone Jenner. Ladislav Ruskovic. He's on board. Anybody else? Ulf Nyquist, our new AHL head coach, and Klefbom decided to go with another team. It's not that big of a deal. So a bunch of prospects here in the third for Matthias Ekholm. Is there like maybe like a veteran defenseman we can sign on here for 1 year? A veteran D-man. Chalmerson works pretty good usually. No. No. Or are we just not gonna? Lindgren maybe? Logan Stanley. Logan Stanley wouldn't be half bad here. Oh, he's an RFA. Never mind. Myers is down here. Really, actually, I think, honestly, I think the best way to go about this is to just sim to next season. I think this is not the year for free agency. That is a terrible offer. That's basically giving a prospect for nothing. I think that we'll deal with all our problems in-house. We'll just call up Wright and Hoglander, and I think that that's just the way to handle things here. To be completely honest. Myers is back. Of course he is. Hometown boy. He needs to play in Moncton. After hours at the furnace room or something. Appleby won't be getting dealt anytime soon. I know I feel really bad, to be honest with you. I was saying that in another episode with a trade deadline, but I feel the same thing about free agency. Like, I feel like if I'm not making a big splash, it's kind of lame, and I feel like you're not going to like the series because of that. Gauthier, well, of course, he's going to be playing with Wright and Hoglander if everything goes well here. All right. Ackerman and a third for a third and a fourth. Yeah, why not accept that? Honestly, why not? I don't want Brent Burns on the team. I'm hoping a lot of guys get jumps too, like maybe like Lazarev. I'm hoping Lazarev. I want to see some 90 overall, to be honest with you, in the off season. All right, so we're at the screen here, so I'm gonna go off camera here, and I'm gonna do my lines and set the captains, and I'll be right back to show you what happened. So be back in a bit. All right, so are you ready for one of the biggest surprises that that you'll have probably since the beginning of this Moncton Navigators franchise? Let's look at our lines for year number 4. Oh my goodness. All right, so one thing that I discovered while looking at the Moncton Navigators lines is that Shane Wright on this line is a +5. So I have to put him there. I don't have a choice. I mean, I could put him down there, maybe there, but I don't know. The +5 with Lazarev and Sanford, I just can't get away from that. And then I have to put Cole Perfetti on the second line, because on the third line, I mean, it's just not realistic. So that bumps Barbashev down to this third line, but he doesn't fit on the third line. And I believe with 1 year left on his contract here, how much does Gauthier have left on his contract? 1 year also. I think that I'm going to revamp this third line before I head into the season. Hoglander can stay there, but I might have to trade these two because they really don't work at all. He's a playmaker. I mean, I might keep Gauthier depending, but Barbashev's going to be the first to go with 1 year left on his contract. So I'll go off camera after I show you the lines here, and I'll try to trade Barbashev before starting. It's sad though, because he has been in Moncton for a good part of his life. Actually, his younger brother, I believe it's I want to say Max Barbashev, Not sure, but somebody from Moncton can probably correct me on that one. But his younger brother is playing in Moncton with the Wildcats right now. But I mean, this is a business, and he doesn't fit. Kind of like with Puyarvi and Guryanov last year, and you saw how that turned out. Puyarvi ended up being our leading scorer in the playoffs, and yeah, we need that. We need that on that third line here. The third line has been a problem all throughout this franchise, and we need to address it sooner rather than later. So these are the lines. Third line is not going to be the same as this. We'll have to address these two. But that's going to be the third line for now. And the fourth line, the grind line, ladies and gentlemen, not one X on there. We got Garnet Hathaway, Cedric Paquette, and Nicolas Deslauriers, who are all +5 and who are going to be a +5 in chemistry. So we're going to have an 84 overall grinder here on the fourth line. An 83 and an 82. So that's going to be awesome. And defense, not much has changed. Nothing has changed really. Sergachev, Parayko, Bouchard, Hedman, and Taze, and Philippe Myers. That is for the NHL. Goalies are the same as usual, Markstrom and Montembeault. And now the AHL, I mean, nothing has changed really. We got Fonstad here, 76 overall. I mean, that's awesome. Remy Ellie doesn't fit on the top. Well, he fits on the second line. If I put him there, no. He's going to be on the third line for this year. And on D, we have Van de Sample, Plandowski on the third line, Nikoshin and Vero on the second, and Gouli and Kasparidis on the first. And one of my main questions here in the AHL was, how is Appleby going to be? And he is a 76 overall. So we're going to let him dominate this year down in the AHL. And hopefully next year he'll be ready to possibly step into a backup role. But I think it would be wise to keep Markstrom for another year, as Markstrom has not regressed. How old is Markstrom actually? He's 33. He's going to regress soon, but he hasn't regressed yet. So those are the lines for this year. And the captains, one thing that I don't know if I mentioned, I don't think I did, but captain is still Sergachev, assistant is Lazarev. I like to have one veteran assistant usually on a team. Veterans bring leadership usually, and so the assistant goes to Nicolas Deslauriers. He's 32, 33. He's seen it all. He's been up and down. He's battled his whole career, and I think that has value. And I don't know if I'm saying that because I was like a third line grinder when I played. I wasn't that gifted offensively, but I really tried hard. Loved to hit, whatever. I don't know if that type of player appeals to me, and that's why I felt like Deslauriers would be the good choice for the A here. But I mean, I don't think I can go wrong with a veteran who goes out there and leaves his all on the ice every time he steps on there. So Deslauriers, you know what? I'm giving you the A, buddy, for this year. And after that, it might go to some Perfetti or Wright or I don't know, but I mean, you gotta have value. There's 21 guys on the team, and everybody comes to work and everybody does their role. And I think that just because your role is to score 40 goals in a year or whatever, I think that you should still have an opportunity to be a leader in the locker room, and I think that Deslauriers can definitely do that. So he's going to be an assistant for this year, and that is it. So I'm going to go off camera, and you know what? I might even keep Barbashev, but I mean, I think I'd like to get some chemistry going on that third line, because last year that kind of was our weakness, and we haven't found solutions to make it better. So I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna look for some trades. Might make one, might not make one. We'll see. But yeah, I'll be back in a sec. All right, so the trade that I'm going to be making here is with the Los Angeles Kings. So I'm going to be giving them Barbashev and Gauthier and a third for Vilardi and Carl Grundstrom. Barbashev is 84, Gauthier is 82, Vilardi is 84, and Grundstrom is 83. The only reason that I'm giving them a third in this deal, everybody has 1 year left on their contract. The only reason I'm giving them a third is because I feel like I'm getting younger with this trade, and I'm getting players that work, or that look like they work anyways. They both say that forward line 3 is their specialty here, and they're two-way forwards, while Barbashev and Gauthier are playmaker, power forward, respectively. I had to retain Barbashev's salary at 50% to make this trade go through, at least eligible to go through. And I just felt like I wasn't really fleecing them, but getting younger, they don't really want to give up the 2, so I feel like I kind of have to give him the third to make this an even trade, make this at least plausible that they would accept it, because they want Barbashev, they want Gauthier, but they don't want to give up these 2, and so I kind of have to make it a bit in their favor for it to work, or for me to feel good about it. I mean, some people could look at it as a trade to make a trade, but I don't know. I know that Barbashev and Gauthier don't work. Vilardi and Grundstrom seem to work. He's a left winger, but he can play on the right, and Hoglander can also. So honestly, I think that this is definitely a trade that I can make here. So let's try it. Doubt anybody will think Los Angeles came out on the short end of the stick with this trade. Perfect. All right. So if they think that they got better, the only thing that kind of scares me with Vilardi is that he's injury prone a bit, but he is like a Gauthier. Look at that strength, that body checking, aggressiveness. He's a big boy too, and Grundstrom is also a decent size, and he is pretty good defensively too. Skating is his strong point. So let's go in the lines and let's see if they work. Please, please work. Okay. Just out of, oh, that's not good. That's better. Do they get at least a +1? They do not get a +1. Too many X's, I think. And all of them have an X on the offensive strategy. I'll take away Baudin and put in... Alright, so that's kind of disappointing, not gonna lie. Let's just see if they work it out during the year. And if they don't work it out, well, I guess we'll try different things at the trade deadline. I was really hoping that they would work. Sadly, it doesn't look like they do for now, so I guess we'll try different things. So what line do they work on? That's what kind of upsets me, is it says they work on line 3 and then they end up not working. What lines do they work on? I know Hoglander's the second line for sure. What about Vilardi? He's also on the second line. And he's also, oh my goodness. Say I were to do that, just curious. Yeah, see, that doesn't. They all work on the second. It says they were, look, oh my goodness. Okay, never mind, yeah. Well, at least a positive for this is that we have 3 replacements here that are fully capable of stepping in, and that I don't think that line will lose its +3. I mean, unless, well, if Perfetti's not there, they will, but oh, never mind, they will there too. All right, so it's a bit of a disaster of a trade. Took that on the chin, kind of, but I mean that can happen sometimes, and that's what happened here. On the penalty kill, at least, do they provide on the penalty kill? They're both on the second power play here. They're both on the second power play. Two-way forwards on the power play, though. That's not much. I don't know. On the penalty kill, do they work? Grundstrom, Delorier, Velarde, Paquette. That looks good. I still don't get why they always put Bouchard on there. That makes 0 sense to me. He works. Who doesn't work? Myers doesn't work. All right, well, we'll have to figure this one out. What if I put... Oh, that... They weren't a +3, right? They were a +1. +1. All right, so that works. We'll put Grundstrom and Velarde on the first PK. Paquette and Delorier on the second. And that'll give us a +1. 3-man PK. See, like, doesn't make any sense, man. Why would you put an offensive D-man? Like right there, it went from -2 to 0. Is it weird to put... Well, I've asked the question. Is it weird to put a forward defense on the penalty kill? I mean, he works. Might as well just try that, I guess. And that first power play, man, it's going to be clicking. It's going to be clicking. Oh, my goodness. All right, so it kind of took that one on the chin there. I was hoping that would be a chemistry fit. Sadly, they weren't. I'll have to scout people for my third line, but until then, I mean, nothing really much I can do here. So let's simulate the preseason. I don't know why I was going there. And see who our first regular season opponent is going to be here in year 4. So Kasparidis, no. Boone Jenner, really? No. For 2 of my best prospects. So our first opponent is going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs for this year. I see that we beat Ottawa 7-4. It's the draft class here. Just quickly, want to see. Okay, so he might not be a franchise player. These are Peros, nice. Alexander Peros, Mohamed Ott. I mean. All Fedotenko, I remember Fedotenko. All right, so that was the year 4 off season, and we're getting ready to step into the year 4 season here with the Moncton Navigators. I think that this year is going to be ridiculous because of the chemistry that we have, and I hope that the coach plays that 4th line because they're going to get things going here. Look at the physical category. I mean, really excited about that. I like Paquette as a player a lot. I think the thing about Grinders, and he's an AHL top 6 forward. Oh well. The thing about Grinders is that they make a difference with their hitting, with just being tough and always willing to step in and defend a teammate. I mean, big respect for those guys, and they get the +5 chemistry there on the fourth line. So we'll just have to find a way to fix this and fix the defense a bit, and I think we'll be all set after that. But Parayko, Parayko and Sergachev were 0, and they did awesome last year. So maybe that will be the same for Velarde, Grundstrom, and Hoglander. I don't know, but that's gonna be it for this video. Like and subscribe if you like what you see, and for sure comment, give me suggestions. If you know a magic way to fix that third line, be sure to let me know. But until episode number, I believe this is episode number 14, until episode number 15, which will be the year 4 of Sim, this is East Coast Gaming signing out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see ya soon.